Greetings. So, time for another Gorean topic. One topic that quite often is discussed is female warriors, seen from a Gorean perspective. And being a free woman, I felt like adding my 2 cents to this. Now, many Goreans have this idea that women cannot be warriors, because within the Gorean books, of course, women are not warriors. We have the Panther girls, but other than that, within the warrior caste, women are not practicing. It's the only caste that has women, uh, because there is one caste, the initiates, that doesn't have women at all. But it's the warrior caste, the only caste that has women, where women are barred from practicing the profession. So the wife of a warrior would be of the warrior caste, but she wouldn't herself be a warrior. The problem here is that the Gore books, for all the philosophy that can be gleaned from them, are fiction. Now, let me try to explain a bit. Of course, there can be female warriors. There have been female warriors up through history. There are, of course, a lot fewer female warriors than there are male warriors, but there are female warriors. And here's a problem I have with a lot of Goreans. In the Gore books, everything is very easy because every woman, absolutely every woman, is submissive. Every woman actually wants to be a slave. Every woman thinks like this. Every man thinks like this. It's nice and ordered and in boxes. It doesn't work that way in real life. Now, a lot of Gorean lifestylers, they do something that in Norway we call not seeing the forest for all the trees. Basically, they say, oh, but the in the Gore books it says such and such and such, and I forget that the Gore books are fiction that we then use as inspiration for a lifestyle. The books were not written to be a guide for life. And as such, a lot of people within the Gore lifestyle seems to think that yes, all women are like this, all men are like this, and it doesn't work that way in real life. What you can look about is statistical probability, and yeah, I'll get back to that. Now, I had a debate not too long ago, a very nice young lady, Kachira, who said no, no, they cannot be female warriors. If they are female warriors, they are going against their own nature, and everybody is much more happy if they follow their nature. And I completely agree. People are more happy if they follow their nature. That doesn't mean there are no female warriors. But in the books, when Panther girls are captured, they immediately accept their position. Yeah, everybody accepts their being slaves immediately in the books. Nobody has pesky emotions like, oh, I was taken from my husband, children, another family, and taken to another planet. So I really grieve for my husband. No, no, no. It's, oh, I really love being a slave. It's the most fantastic thing that's ever happened to me. Because when it boils down to the core, books are fiction. Does that mean that they are worthless? No, of course not. There's a lot of great philosophy in them. We cannot take them as literal. Ugh. And are there women that has a more masculine role in society that wants that honestly of their own heart in real life? Yes, there is. And I think that Goreans are trying to be a lifestyle that looks at things very down to earth, has to accept that. And this is where I sometimes get into trouble with other Goreans because I call bullshit. When people say, oh no, but all women are submissive, all women wants to do such and such. No. The problem with society today is that we have this idea that there has to be equality in everything. I mean, they did a research study in Norway not long ago where they interviewed a lot of people who were studying to become engineers. And they asked these engineers, do you want to become a leader? At your work, do you want a leadership position? Now, 80% of the male students said, yeah, I want to become a leader. 80% of the female students said, no, don't want to be a leader. The female students had as a goal to become good in their profession, but be able to have a lower position so they could combine work with husband and children. That was 80% of the female students. 80% of the male students wanted to become leaders, to advance. That's natural. What you get the problem with that the Gore book speaks against, where men and women deny who they are, that's when the response that the Norwegian government came with was, how can we make more female students want to be leaders? And I go, face meet palm. Why you want to do that? Why is it so important that 50% of women are leaders when only 20% want to be? However, I also think it's very important if you're going to have a naturalistic lifestyle that bases itself on the prime principle of with the prime principle of knowing yourself and being true to yourself. If that is going to be your number one priority as following this lifestyle, you cannot ignore those 20% either and say, no, you all have to not want to be leaders because you have boobs. Because it doesn't work like that. Basically, far fewer women than men want to be leaders. Far more women than men are submissive. That doesn't mean all are. Now, you may ask yourself, what does all this has to do with female warriors? Well, here's the point. Are there women, both alive today and in the past, that has been excellent, amazing warriors? Yes. Does that mean we should have 50-50 male and female warriors? Hell no! I would say that the percentage of females that have any desire to be warriors are minuscule compared to males. But one should not deny that there are women who want to be warriors and that are very good at it. And of course then we have the argument, but women are physically weaker than men, so they can't be good warriors. Basically, in a fight, raw physical strength only counts for so much. You have training, you have weaponry, you have technique, and when I bring this up, usually there are some Goreans, like also this Kajira I talked with, brings up. But that isn't fair because in a direct contest of strength, men would always win. And if women didn't have these new weapons and so on, they wouldn't win. But the point is it easier for a woman to be a warrior with a gun in hand? That sort of takes a lot of physical strength out of the equation. Yes. Were such technology frowned upon in the Gore books? Yes. However, technology isn't just computers, guns, and so on. A sword is technology. And basically, a woman who is well trained in fighting techniques and is armed will beat a man who is not. So, yeah, but I mean, it even went so far. I mean, I had a discussion about this on Color Me once, and one said, yeah, the problem with this idea that women can't fight is Like one poster said, he said that he had a female friend who was a master martial artist, and that she could have easily just kicked him through a wall. But then some Gorean said, but that doesn't count because then she has training. I mean, it isn't the raw, natural. And again, Palm meets Kate. Yes, if your conflict is two individuals with no skill, no experience, no weapons, no nothing, that is just beating at it one another with fists, then yes, men will in 99% of the time win over women in such a situation because then it's only raw strength that matters. However, even on Gore, I mean, they train to become good swordsmen. They train to have good fighting style. And women can be trained in these styles as well. Now, do I think that if we have a man and a woman with exactly the same amount of training, the exact same weaponry, do I think the man will be a better soldier than the woman? Yes, I do. That, however, do not mean women will not be good soldiers. So, yeah, I think that you can easily fit the idea of female soldiers within the Gorean concept. It's just that it will be a lot rarer. And also, if you look at history and take Viking society, which were one of the societies that inspired John Norman when he wrote the Gore books, they had female warriors. Well, we don't know everything about them because there aren't a lot of records from the time. We know that in Norse society, females could become warriors. They were called shield maidens, and they were highly regarded in Viking society. And they did go on raids with the men. And a lot of societies has had castes of female warriors. And you have had single individuals through history. Jeanne d'Arc, several Chinese generals, uh, Queen Boudica. There are a lot of female warriors in history who has definitely embodied everything a warrior is supposed to be. So yeah, now of course always when you discuss female warriors, you get into the idea of should there be women in the military? Now for me, I don't see a problem as long as they can keep up. Basically, what I am against is lowering the demands to make more women get into the military. That absolutely does not work. But if a woman can compete on equal grounds with a man, it shouldn't matter that she has boobs. So yeah, do these three women think there are female warriors? Yes, there are. Do these three women think that they can have female warriors within the context of the Gorean lifestyle? Yes, I do. Do these three women think that female warriors is as plentiful as male warriors, or that it falls natural for most women to be warrior? No. However, there are always those individuals that do not fit with the norm. And if we are going to have a philosophy based on the concept of knowing oneself and following what's in one's own nature, then one have to accept that sometimes a person's nature doesn't follow the norm. I mean, it becomes very hypocritical to have the idea that, yes, what you should do is you should follow your own nature, you should not compromise about who yourself are, Unless it don't happen to that your nature doesn't fit with these books. Because, yeah, to me, the most important tenets of being a Gorean are the following. A. Living true to yourself, whatever yourself might be. B. Living with honor and honoring your word. C. Finding sense and wisdom within the Gorean books and basing one lifestyle on them. However, one cannot take it down word for word because it is fiction. It's like some people live a Star Trek lifestyle, and I'm not talking about Trekkies here. I'm talking about people who are inspired by Star Trek in their lives. So they will donate money to science and live as in accordance with the philosophy of the series as they possibly can. However, they cannot stand and talk to the microwave and say Earl Grey hot because chances are they won't get that Earl Grey. And the same, we have to accept that the Gore books are fiction. They can be a guidance, but they are not an absolute guide for life. And as such, while in the books, the true nature of every woman is to be submissive. The deepest, most natural desire of every woman is to be a slave. Yes, some women fear the consequences of that, that they'll lose family, that they might be killed, and so on. But deep down, all women within the books desires that deep surrender. However, that is not so in real life. Are more women than men submissive? Yes, but not all. Not everybody in real life fits into neat little boxes, just like if you try to brand someone with the branding methods in the Gore books, you'll have yourself a trip to the ER. So yeah, I think it's important to use the Gore books as guides, not as a Bible. So yeah, that's my opinion about female warriors seen from a Gorean's perspective. I hope you have enjoyed this video and have a great day.